As of January 4th, I have been making cabinets for 2 years. And to celebrate that today, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a vent. Like that one, not this one, but like that one. All right, so when you're building a vent hood, you're gonna build it just like you'd build a cabinet. You'd think that there'd be a fancier process, but really all it is a big box hiding all of your exhaust pipes. Obviously, all of your measurements are gonna go based on your needs and your space, but I'll try my best to give you the measurements of this specific vent hood. That way you have a reference point to go off of. So I'm building the show face here of the vent hood. This is all poplar, it's a nice paint grade wood. I'm pocket holing all of the parts and pieces to the face together, and after that we move on to the box. Both of these steps are really easy, and basically that's the entire process. This frame is 64 by 40. The thicker bottom piece is a 16-inch width, and the top piece is 10-inch, and everything else is 3 inches. You're not seeing me cut any of my materials because someone else does that. We have a really nice system where I work. Somebody measures houses and draws the cabinets. Somebody cuts and stacks all of the materials, and someone, myself, builds all of the cabinets. So in case you were curious, this is a collaborative effort. The two vertical pieces of plywood are 64 inches long by 14 inches deep. And the mid piece here that connects the two is going to be 38.5 inches. And when all are combined, that makes the total width of the vent 40 inches wide. After you've joined these three pieces and put braces in on the back, you'll add that nice face frame that we built earlier to the top and staple it all the way in on all sides. As I flip it over here, you'll see that I have a brace on the top and on the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and add one in the middle that's actually pocket holed in just for a little bit more stability when strapping this bad boy to the wall. I did staple and glue everything together when initially building it, but in order to reinforce everything and make sure nothing's gonna fall apart, the mid that we put in there pocket holes to every piece that it's actually already nailed to. We always build the frame a little bit bigger than what the actual size of the box is. That way we can come in and square everything off with the router and a flush trim bit to make it look nice and crispy. After we've used the router, we're gonna use a putty on all of our cracks, all of our joints, all of our seams and everything, so that when we go to paint, it is completely seamless. There is nothing showing, no joints showing at all. While that putty is drying, I'm gonna go over and cut an 1/8 inch sheet of MDF to close off the inside of the vent hood. We use 1/8 inch MDF because it's light and it also paints very well. Everything gets a thorough amount of glue. We drop that bad boy in and then start shooting nails all into it, into the face frame. After you've done all those steps, the easy part of making a vent is done. Now we're gonna add a skirt to this vent to make it have a nice little detail, make it look a little bit more ornamental. And that's where it gets just a little bit more difficult. But first, we gotta sand, obviously, come on now. If you were to stop right now, this is what your vent would look like. We do these all the time, but I actually like putting a skirt on it. It makes it look a lot better, a lot more fancy. This will be a 9-inch apron, so the first thing we're gonna do is take a 9-inch poplar board, cut a 45-degree angle in one end, measure 40 inches back, because that is the width of the face of the vent. Flip your board over, cut another 45-degree angle, and check to see if it lines up and fits perfectly. You always wanna make your cuts a little bit over, so you can slowly taper in to get the perfect fit for your specific vent. Glue it, staple it, and move on to the outer sides of your 45-degree angled skirt. So if you do decide to throw a skirt onto your vent, you have to realize it's most likely going to be next to other cabinets, so you have to take into account their depth, which most of the time for our cabinets is about 12 inches. So I'm measuring 12 inches from the backside of this vent, and the difference I'm left with will be the exact measurement that I need for this last part of the apron. Here's my professional tip of the day. Even if your miters are pristine and beautiful and perfect, I always take a screwdriver and rub them together. That way the fibers can bind together, weave together, whatever you want to call it, and will never, ever, ever open. I sand over it gently, and there's nothing more that I need to do after that. The last thing we need to do is make a cutout in the bottom where your vent insert will go. This is going to be specific to the exact insert that you get, so no dimensions for me to give you here. After that, your vent is beautiful and done. All you need to do is hang it on the wall next to your beautiful cabinets, wait for the painters to show up, which will be weeks later, and this is the result that you'll get. Thank you guys for watching. I want to do more stuff like this in the future, considering I am a professional cabinet maker. So if you think this video was a hit and exactly what I should be doing, please validate me in the comment section down below.